Modern motor yachts are packed with technology, sleek interiors, and six-figure price tags. But ask enough experienced boat owners, and many will quietly point you toward older boats that were built with thicker fiberglass, simpler systems, and craftsmanship that's becoming harder to find today. In this video, we're looking at 5 forgotten motor yachts that many buyers overlook, even though they may actually be better investments than many newer boats. We'll walk through the history behind each one, why buyers pass them over, what actually holds up decades later, and what you can realistically expect to pay if you decide to go looking. Let's get started. Number 5. Trojan 11-meter. Call this one the slow but unstoppable cruiser. Trojan built these boats through the 1970s and 1980s, and the 11-meter, roughly 36 feet, was designed for buyers who wanted genuine motor yacht comfort in a package smaller and more manageable than the larger flagship models the brand became known for. Trojan built a loyal following among coastal cruisers who valued dependable systems over flashy styling, and the 11-meter carried that reputation into a size that suited couples rather than large families entertaining aboard. Most buyers today skip right past the name simply because Trojan never achieved the recognition of some competitors, despite decades of quietly reliable production, putting real miles under real owners. The hull is laid up heavier than current production standards would ever justify on a modern cost sheet, and that mass translates directly into a settled, confident ride in chop that unsettles lighter boats. Unlike many newer boats that chase lighter weight and lower production costs to hit an aggressive price point, the Trojan feels planted in the water, giving owners a confidence that never really goes out of style, no matter how many seasons pass. Walk inside one today, and you'll notice something increasingly rare in newer boats: real wood joinery rather than laminate finishes trying to approximate it. Twin gas or diesel engines, depending on the specific example, provide dependable performance, and mechanics who've serviced these boats over the years describe engine rooms that were laid out with actual maintenance in mind rather than squeezed in as an afterthought once the rest of the design was finished. The salon feels genuinely warm rather than merely functional, and the galley handles real cooking for a couple planning extended trips rather than quick weekend visits. Storage throughout reflects a builder who assumed the boat would actually be lived aboard for real stretches of time, not just admired from the dock on a Saturday afternoon. Talk to owners who've kept these boats for a decade or more, and you'll hear the same thing: how little drama the boat has given them. A reputation earned through simple, well-proven systems, rather than complexity for its own sake. Sleeping arrangements typically include a forward berth and additional space in the salon for guests, and headroom throughout stays comfortable for taller owners who've been disappointed by cramped boats in this size range before. The honest downside is interior finishes on unrestored examples, which reflect their era and may need updating even when the mechanicals remain excellent, and buyers should budget accordingly for that cosmetic work. You'll typically find good examples between $30,000 and $55,000. This is a strong choice for a couple who wants genuine warmth and dependability in a manageable size without the complexity that comes with a much larger vessel. But if you'd rather trade a little fuel economy for more speed and a lot more space, our next boat might surprise you. Number 4. Silverton 372. Many buyers assume Silverton only built affordable family cruisers, so they overlook just how capable the 372 really is. Silverton built the 372 as a genuine motor yacht rather than the convertible sport fishers the brand became better known for, aimed at buyers who wanted real cruising comfort and a bit more speed than the displacement trawlers dominating the affordable end of the market during the same era. That assumption about the brand skips right past the 372, a model built with genuinely more substantial construction and a layout specifically designed around comfortable extended cruising rather than tournament fishing or weekend outings alone. The hull is built with real fiberglass thickness, and the aft cabin layout gives you real separation between the owner's stateroom and guest accommodations, a full-beam master that surprises people expecting a boat this size to feel compromised the way some competitors do. Twin engines provide the speed and redundancy that distinguish this boat from the slower trawlers on today's list, letting owners cover ground quickly when needed, outrun a closing weather window, or simply enjoy a faster pace of cruising when the mood strikes. The salon benefits from generous window area that floods the space with natural light, avoiding the closed-in feeling that plagues some boats built during the same period. The galley provides real counter space for real cooking, rather than a cramped corner that only handles the basics, and storage throughout reflects thoughtful planning for extended trips rather than day cruising alone. Sleeping capacity typically covers a couple comfortably in the master, with room for guests in a second cabin, making the boat genuinely workable for hosting family during part of an extended trip. Ask people who've lived aboard one for several seasons and they'll tell you the same thing. The boat handles with a confidence that feels considerably more capable than its price point would suggest, particularly in the kind of chop that makes lighter boats feel unsettled. The honest downside is fuel consumption. Twin engines at cruising speed burn more than the single-engine trawlers elsewhere on this list, so buyers prioritizing maximum range should weigh that trade-off carefully against the boat's real comfort and speed advantages. Expect to pay between $40,000 and $75,000. This boat suits a buyer who wants genuine motor yacht comfort with more speed and presence than a displacement trawler offers, without stepping into a price bracket that starts to feel uncomfortable. If you're enjoying this countdown, take a second to like the video, subscribe to Boat Hunter, and turn on notifications. We create videos like this regularly to help buyers find real value in the used motor yacht market that most people walk right past without a second look. Our next boat has an enormous interior that regularly surprises people expecting a typical 38-footer. Number 3. Chris Craft 381 Catalina. The Chris Craft name carries real weight among boating enthusiasts. But interestingly, that recognition hasn't translated into premium prices for this specific model the way it has for the brand's classic wooden runabouts. Chris Craft built the 381 Catalina through the 1980s as an enlarged version of the company's best-selling 350 Catalina, and it became a genuine sales success in its own right thanks to an interior that felt more like a much larger boat than its actual length suggested. Buyers searching for those iconic mahogany Chris Craft runabouts scroll right past the 381, assuming it's simply another aging fiberglass cruiser, rather than understanding what the Chris Craft name still meant for construction quality decades into the fiberglass era, long after the wooden boats that made the brand famous. The hull reflects Chris Craft's long-standing commitment to genuine quality, a modified V design known for a smooth ride through chop, with the kind of solid, near-bulletproof construction the brand was known for during this period of production. Step below, and the galley-up floor plan opens into an expansive salon with a convertible settee, full-service galley, and generous storage, along with 2 comfortable staterooms, including a rare king bed option that became available in the master starting in 1983, unusual for a boat this size at any price point. Twin gas engines, typically in the 330 horsepower range, deliver a cruising speed in the mid-teens with a top end in the low 20s, giving owners real performance alongside the interior space rather than forcing a choice between the two. Wide walk-around decks provide secure footing when moving fore and aft, and a combined helm and aft deck area, rather than a separate flybridge, keeps the captain close to guests rather than isolated up top away from the conversation. Talk to longtime owners, and you'll hear the same thing over and over. A particular pride in ownership that comes specifically from the Chris Craft name, even on a model that doesn't command the premium the brand's more famous boats do. The honest downside is styling. This isn't the sleekest profile at the dock compared to more modern designs, and parts sourcing for anything brand-specific takes a bit more patience, though the common Crusader engine platforms found aboard remain widely serviced by mechanics across the country. Prices typically range from $20,000 to $55,000 based on current listings, with the higher end reflecting exceptionally clean, well-updated examples, a genuine bargain for the Chris Craft name on a boat with the interior volume of many 45-footers. Our next boat is one of the most misunderstood motor yachts on the used market, a name most buyers have simply never had a reason to learn. Number 2. Tollycraft 40 Motor Yacht. Tollycraft built boats in the Pacific Northwest with a reputation among people who actually know the brand that borders on reverence and a near-total lack of recognition everywhere else. Tollycraft boats earned a reputation among many Pacific Northwest boaters as the Cadillac of yachts, thanks to their build quality and ride, and the 40 Motor Yacht represented the company at its most serious, a boat built for owners who wanted genuine long-range comfort, rather than a weekend toy to admire at the dock. Most shoppers skip right past Tollycraft, simply because the company never expanded distribution the way national brands did, so the boats stayed concentrated regionally and never built the coast-to-coast name recognition that shapes what most buyers search for today when they start browsing listings. That regional footprint is exactly why examples on the East Coast or in the Midwest sometimes sell for considerably less than a comparable boat carrying a more familiar badge, even though the underlying construction rivals or exceeds it. Construction reflects a builder that never cut corners to hit a price point. A substantial hull layup and hardware sized for real, sustained cruising rather than occasional outings on a calm afternoon. The interior carries real wood joinery and a layout built around actual liveaboard use. A proper master stateroom, a separate guest cabin, and a salon that feels finished rather than merely functional, the kind of detail that reflects a small builder more focused on quality than quarterly sales targets. Twin diesel or gas engines, depending on the specific example, deliver dependable performance, and the boat's Pacific Northwest heritage shows up in details clearly built for serious weather rather than just calm marina days, a hull and superstructure designed with real confidence in mind. Ask people who've lived aboard one for several seasons and they'll describe a boat that handles chop and current with a settled confidence that surprises visitors expecting something more modest, given how little they've heard of the brand. The honest downside is exactly what makes it affordable. Parts and specialized service can require more searching outside the Pacific Northwest, so buyers elsewhere should budget extra patience into ownership and factor in the possibility of shipping certain components. Pricing also varies considerably by region and condition, so it's worth casting a wide net when searching listings rather than limiting yourself to boats close to home. Expect to pay between $35,000 and $85,000, depending on condition, location, and engine configuration. This boat suits a buyer who's willing to look past a name they've likely never heard in exchange for construction quality that rivals boats costing considerably more under a more recognized badge. That brings us to the boat that best captures everything this list is about, a name recognized by exactly the right people and completely unknown to everyone else. Number 1. Jefferson 42. If there was ever a yacht that deserved to be famous but never was, it's the Jefferson 42. Talk to someone who's owned a Jefferson for 10 or 15 years and you'll hear the same thing over and over. They bought it because it was affordable, but they kept it because they couldn't find anything newer that felt as solid underfoot. Very few people sell one because they're disappointed. Most sell because age, health, or changing circumstances force the decision, not because the boat gave them a reason to walk away. Jefferson had the build quality to compete with the biggest names in boating. What it never had was the marketing budget. While companies like Sea Ray and Carver dominated magazine covers and boat shows, spending heavily to keep their names in front of buyers year after year, Jefferson quietly built yachts that many owners still swear by decades later, without ever chasing that same spotlight. The interior is where the Jefferson 42 genuinely separates itself from everything else on today's list. A proper master stateroom with real privacy, a separate guest cabin, and a salon that feels finished rather than merely functional, the kind of space that makes hosting friends aboard for an evening feel like an actual occasion rather than a cramped compromise squeezed into leftover hull space. Walk through one today, and the difference is immediate. Rich wood surrounding you rather than glossy plastic finishes trying to look expensive under showroom lighting. The galley provides real cooking space, and storage throughout reflects a design built around actual extended living, rather than the assumption that owners would only ever take short weekend trips. Construction reflects serious attention to detail throughout the entire boat, not just the areas a buyer would notice on a quick walkthrough. The hull layup is substantial, and Jefferson used real teak joinery throughout much of the interior, something that's genuinely expensive to replicate today given current material and labor costs that have pushed real wood out of most production boats entirely. Twin diesel engines delivered dependable performance with the redundancy that matters for serious cruising, whether that's extended coastal passages or a full attempt at the Great Loop, where reliability becomes considerably more important than convenience. Mechanics who've worked on these boats consistently describe well-organized engine rooms that don't punish an owner for wanting to handle their own maintenance, a detail that matters enormously to a retiree managing the boat without a professional crew. The honest downside is recognition. Because the name never became a household word, buyers occasionally need to convince a partner or a surveyor unfamiliar with the brand that the boat underneath is genuinely as capable as it appears, even when the evidence is right there in the construction. Examples still sell for a fraction of what comparable quality would command under a more famous badge, precisely because that recognition never materialized the way it did for competitors with deeper advertising pockets. Expect to pay between $60,000 and $110,000 depending on condition, engine hours, and how recently the systems have been updated, a price that consistently undercuts comparable quality carrying a more recognized name by a meaningful margin. Sometimes the best motor yacht isn't the newest one at the marina. It's the one that's quietly been proving itself for the last 40 years while everyone else chased the latest trends and the newest hull on the showroom floor. Every boat on today's list was built by a company that assumed an owner would actually live aboard, actually cruise thousands of miles, and actually depend on that boat for decades, not just look good under showroom lighting for a single season before being traded in for something shinier. If you enjoyed today's countdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Boat Hunter, and turn on notifications so you never miss another hidden boating gem. And if you've owned one of these motor yachts, or think another forgotten classic deserved a place on this list, share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.